the rift and fractures are widening in the Islamic Republic. Ghalibaf, Pezeshkian, generals have all come out and said their own piece here. We're going to get into that and tell you why. They are saying these crazy things. I mean, in Islamic Republic state media today, you have a wide range of statements from the president of the Islamic Republic saying, I spoke to the supreme leader, I know what's best, and I know that we have to go back towards negotiating. While the hardliner generals are saying, that's a load of crap, we have to go to war, we're going to strike American companies in the Middle East, we're actually going to strike all the countries who are hosting them as well. And then weird statements like them openly bragging on Islamic Republic state media saying we hired hitmen already to assassinate the son of Donald Trump and other members of his family. All of that, plus the economic rifts are widening and collapsing. Why is the Islamic Republic saying these things now? For months, we heard analysts say the Islamic Republic is stronger. They came out of this winning. They're going to turn into a superpower, etc. I just caught myself saying etc. And other things. That's not really true, is it? Because now they're coming out and saying we have to make a deal or else our economy is going to kaboom. So the first one, the biggest one that has made the most amount of headlines is Pezeshkian. Ladies and gentlemen, that Pezeshkian was going to play this card by not playing it, except now he's forced to play it. When he had a 7-hour-long meeting with the Supreme Leader, we told you guys that he did that just to say, I know what's best. And don't mess with me unless I give my view and I say that the Supreme Leader was behind, approving negotiations or approving war. Well, he's actually under so much fire in the past couple of days, the past 48 hours. All state media in the Islamic Republic, particularly IRGC media, is going for Pezeshkian's head. They're throwing him under the bus like never before. And he has to come out and said this. There it is. Pezeshkian just said, it's not just me saying we need to negotiate and end the war. It's the Supreme Leader's will that has to say it. Interestingly enough, Pezeshkian is now being thrown into the camp of the Supreme Leader, more aligned with Vahidi than he is Ghalibaf at this point. That's what I think. He's playing this side. Let's hear what other people have had to say about this as well, but let's discuss this first. So, not only did he make this statement, but look at what he did today as well. He gathered the heads of the government of the Islamic Republic in this very humble meeting. I mean, look at them, just 3 dudes at a table. Look at them showing off. We're just normal people like everyone else. We just have a couple bottled waters and etc. No, not really. Armin, why did this even need to happen? Why is he gathering up the heads? That's Ghalibaf on the left, that's Ejei on the right. And why is he saying we need to end the war? The Supreme Leader is behind ending the war.
So, guys, these are the head of the 3 branches: executive in the middle, judiciary on the right, legislative on the left. So basically, this is the government, right? Not the entirety of the regime, but the entirety of the government, what they call the government in Iran. That's all of them right there, right? Which is weird why they're still alive, by the way. Wink, wink. But so they are on the same page. They want to capitulate big time to the Americans. All three of them agree. And Pezeshkian and Ghalibaf both came out and gave out speeches that was unprecedented, admitting that things are tough, really tough, which might not seem like a big deal to you guys. Like, okay, we know that, Armin, but they are admitting it in a way that they did not admit before. That and not only that, so Ghalibaf actually came out and said that we're not going to be able to survive this. which is an extreme language. This from people who are acting like they're winning everything. They're like, we're not going to be able to survive this. And Pezeshkian, though, he was a little bit more cautious about he talks. He says that we should end the war now while we from a position of a strength, as if they're in a position of a strength, instead of because. But he also suggested that we're going to get weaker and weaker if we keep fighting with the Americans. So this shows some extreme level of desperation, and this could only mean that the economic isolation of the Islamic Republic is working, is really working. It's really working. But here's the problem, Ali, for them. Okay, so the thing is that the isolation is working a bit too well, right? Here's what I think. Because it's working too well, it's making these people want to come to the negotiating table to accept everything that the Americans were asking for, right? But because it's working a bit too well, the Americans are asking for more now. So the Americans are noticing the level of desperation of the Islamic Republic, and they're not interested in what they were asking before. So the better the Americans get at putting pressure on the Islamic Republic, their asks also keeps moving. So the Islamic Republic is some parts of the Islamic Republic, these guys are trying to chase now, go back to the negotiating table and offer the Americans what they wanted before. But what they're finding is the more desperate they get, the bigger the American demands is getting.
That's going to be harder and harder for them to accept, won't it? And remember, guys, we've been
Yes.
talking for months about that dwindling regime supporter base. It's going to be harder for them to accept it, too. It's getting doomy and gloomy for them. The Minister of the Economy of the Islamic Republic also said, guys, there's a possibility here that we might have to dissolve several major banks. That's something I don't see talked about. Ladies and gentlemen, how would you feel if you tried to withdraw your money only to find out that there is nothing left in any of your accounts, in any of your banks? All the major banks of the United States have now dissolved. You might think that that's an exaggeration and a crazy piece of talk, but it's actually happened multiple times before. It's nothing new. In fact, there are strikingly similar problems between Russia and the Islamic Republic at the moment. Gas shortages, rolling blackouts, no money in the banks left, dictator at the helm, and a lot of internal coups that are potentially rising. I wonder which was going to fall first, to be honest with you. Although I would bet the Islamic Republic, as they don't have hundreds of thousands of nuclear weapons.
At
Pezeshkian
least
has made his
somebody,
move. Yeah.
talking about banks, Gene is saying they better get their money now. Here's the problem.
Oh.
They're like the money, you can't really use that much money outside of the bank. A lot of Iranians rely on bank transactions, online payments, cards. Many stores don't even accept cash. That's how that's the problem with inflation. Like you can't just carry all that money with you all the time, right? So many stores, you go there and you bring, like, you want to bring cash, or like, yeah, sorry, we don't accept that. Do you have a card? So it's hard to live without having your money in the bank.
Also, if everyone tried to withdraw their money all at the same time, that'd be a bank run. It's not too good. But they can't. So the Islamic Republic actually put in the banks put in mechanisms. You actually can't withdraw a certain amount of money. You can't withdraw more than like a few dollars at a given time. It's crazy. It's so low. They just don't have any money left. So every time they come out and they spend extravagant amounts of money on ceremonies and whatever bullcrap that they need to do, that just aggravates people even more. A lot of economic moves have happened between Iran and Iraq, which is actually concerning me a little bit. We'll get into that too. So let's take a look at one of the newspapers.
Wait. Shana is saying this is working so well. I love economic fury. Hugh knew all it takes to take down the regime is a pretty gay man. So-
Hmm.
That's good. Scotty B. Yes. Thank you, Shana. Okay.
Armin,
Yes.
look at this. This is the headline newspaper of the day. That is
So
the
the
side
written.
profile of the yeah, that's the head that's the side profile of the head of the central bank of the Islamic Republic. And Armin, what does the headline tell us?
Oh my God, guys! This is a newspaper from the Islamic Republic itself, and I think it's a reformist, so-called reformist newspaper, saying Sadirat Naft Sif. They're saying export of oil is now zero. And they have the side profile of the head of the central bank saying that. So they're admitting they have zero oil export right now. Guys, this is not President Trump saying this. This is a newspaper, official newspaper of the Islamic Republic, admitting that their export of oil is now zero. Unbelievable. Wow.
So, for any of you who might not know, if you're watching this for the first time, the Islamic Republic is a socialist, Islamist type of economy government, semi cap, not really capital, but anyway, they get most of their money from the national oil sales that they have. So the government owns the oil corporate. Government owns pretty much everything. They get their money, the government budget from oil, and they don't sell any oil. The head of the central bank came out in a famous interview a couple days ago saying, "We don't have any oil exports. We can't even access our frozen funds. It's over for us unless we make a deal." And now you hear the president, the parliament speaker, all these people coming out and saying, "We need to make a deal." Who is not in favor of making a deal? And actually, the political games that are happening right now is a little bit similar to what Donald Trump likes to employ. Donald Trump would likes to and has done. He sets Marco Rubio and he sets JD Vance to do their own thing. Doesn't give them direction. Sees who does what and sees who wins. If Marco Rubio turns out to be more popular with his policies this month, Donald Trump will back Marco Rubio. And if JD Vance is more, let's negotiate, and that seems to be gaining momentum, Donald Trump will push the negotiation front. Khamenei family, the supreme leader, is no different than that. In fact, it's a very standard political move. What's happening right now, in my opinion, is that the supreme leader, if he exists, is seeing what is the path that will destroy us less. What's the least hurtful one? I get that we have to cut off a couple of our limbs here, but or maybe lose an eye or two, but how can we survive this? Okay, I'll put a bunch of the people like Ghalibaf, Pezeshkian, and them. I'll tell them we need to negotiate, and it makes sense because they had the government. Then I'll tell our IRGC commanders like Rezai, no, we need to go to war. We will go to war unless the Americans back down. And we'll see what's more popular here. I only need to keep that 3 to 5% of my supporters on my side. If they choose war, we go to war. If they choose negotiations, we go to negotiations. We're going to keep a close eye on what people say. We even have a section called Alligrams, where we do give you guys messages from regime supporters today and yesterday. So now that we've heard that, Pezeshkian has made his move, the president of the Islamic Republic, and what a heavy move it is.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.